Hi YouTube. Um, I've been away for a while. I just came back from a job yesterday, a week-long job. Um, Still trying to finish what I said I was going, trying to initiate some plans into action through this job. Um, this video is gonna be about. I just recently saw something about this, and I know both of them, not in person, but I follow both of them. And I thought, you know what? When Pretty Boy Fredo was going on this crazy stuff with Agent, I made a video about that. Okay, this is another similarity to that, where I'm offering my opinion to it because, like I said, I follow both of these people in the world of basketball. I like both of them. If I had to, I would play against both of them. I'm gonna talk about the Nick Briz and the Devontae Friga situation. Now, disclaimer: the stuff that I'm going to talk about is just from what I have seen so far. I've seen a shit ton of their videos, so I know how both of them are at this point. I've been following them for a while, not since the beginning, but when I was in high school, I knew who both of them were. I was following them way back then, and that was in 2016. Started high school in 2014, so right around that time period. Anyway, I'm going to address. I'm gonna get the good out the way first because the bad is more of the revenue of where my impact comes from. For the people that know about that situation, you already know how Devontae Friga is already. Um, in the past, Devontae has posted videos about him going to play, obviously, but he went to the wrong area in multiple areas, or in about two different videos. I'm a big fan of when you go to hoop in a safe environment because niggas nowadays they take the game too seriously, like they getting paid for it, like they in the NBA, and it's not that serious. Unless even then, if you're not getting paid to play, you shouldn't be threatening to shoot somebody or nothing like that. Because for me, I know an area that's like that, I'm not going to it. And if I'm caught up in that area, 9 times out of 10, if you firing around me and somebody I know get hit, I'm going to tell on you. 9 times out of 10. That's just how it is because don't play with that type of stuff. Black people already get stereotyped for bull like that. People that do stuff like that do not help the case. And I am no fan of anybody that comes to a court just to start up shit for no reason when we supposed to come and just play and be about just playing. Period. Um I watch Professor, watch Bone Collector, watch T Jazz, watch Devontae, watch Nick Briz. Those are my 5 people I watch. The Professor and Bone Collector are my 2 most favorite. They're my old heads for what they stand for, obviously. You got a yin and you got a yang. T Jazz, on the rise and up and coming, T Jazz is my number. He's in my top 3 between Devontae Friga and Nick Briz for positivity. Now, in the videos that Devontae Friga posted about where stuff got shot up, where he was there in both scenarios, he did the right thing by getting away from there. I applaud and commend him every time he goes somewhere. As much as people be trying to shit talk him at times, he keeps his head on his shoulders and he stays calm and collected. And he's there for the right reasons and for the right thing. I'm behind that. Now, I transfer over to this little beef and I go to Nick's side. At this point, if I mention the name Nick Briz, most people should know what Nick Briz is for. Yes, he goes to courts for good vibes and stuff for the most part, I guess. I don't know if he's what he displays in his videos outside of playing, but all you got is all you have is what you see on the videos to go off of, unless you know him in person. So I saw the story. I saw both stories. When Devontae posted about what he posted, Nick decided to shit talk him and say, "Oh, you're basically a bitch for bringing the cops to a court for just because it wasn't his area." Touching on the Nick Briz side of it, you played in a lot of hoods, my boy. You're a white boy. I'm not saying that to be racist either, but you're a white boy. Understand, when you go into the hood, you're a white boy who is trying to be black, and how you were talking to Devontae Friga about what he was doing. Police brutality is a real thing. People getting shot at courts, let the cops come see people getting shot. They just gonna start shooting at everybody. And then 9 times out of 10, they're gonna assume, oh, a black person started it. Oh, we screwed. Devontae is mixed. You know, buddy? You're white. You know, there's this thing in the world that because, you know, Trump kind of messed people's heads up. But, you know, there's this thing still in the world called white privilege. You got that, my boy, because you're white. We don't. Calling Devontae basically a bitch and a pussy for bringing cops to a court to ensure safety. Who's the bitch there? It seems like that's you in that scenario. Because your channel promotes, even though you go to play, your channel promotes smoke. Are you an NBA player? Even them, they get fined for stuff like that. There's punishments for that. The luckiest thing you have about the channel that you have is that YouTube hasn't took it down because you promote violence in some senses. And talking about Devontae for what he did with that, no. You're the negative right there. There's a yin and a yang. Devontae's doing the right thing. I side with Devontae. And I like Nick Briz. That's the funny thing. I like him. I like both of them. But I am always going to be about what is right. When I'm doing wrong, it's like how I carry myself in real life. If I'm in the wrong and my friends happen to be around me, I don't have fake people around me who pump me up when I'm in the wrong. If you're in my circle, when I'm getting out of line, my friends put me back in check. So when you made those comments on your Instagram story about what you said, somebody should have checked you for that. That was in your circle, because that was unnecessary. I don't care how many hood areas you go to and whatnot. In the world, nobody deserves to die in the first place. When you run the risk of getting shot at, you're running the risk of getting killed. So when people come to a court shooting, or for whatever the reason, you run the risk of someone dying. Somebody dies. What are you talking? What you talking about him being a pussy? Okay, say one of your teammates gets shot. 2, 3, one of them die. What are you going to be saying then? This is going to come back to you. What you going to be saying then? Oh, he's a pussy for bringing... Devontae was a pussy for bringing cops to the... One of your teammates gets shot. I bet you would have wanted the cops there around that area, so that wouldn't have happened. Somebody died. That's on your hands. Because they came with you. Think about what you're saying, Nick. There are, from the professor to Bone Collector to T-Jazz to Devontae, out of all of them, you're at the bottom of the list, realistically speaking. Toxicity and positivity are one of the biggest battles in the world right now. Unfortunately, you see, it's about, realistically speaking, you see toxicity getting more attention most of the time, which is sad. But the people who are trying to be positive in terms of basketball content creators, them 4 people I just named, the only one that's a negative is you out of them. And you big in your own way, but you could be bigger. Promoting positive vibes consistently is a big way to do that. Nobody told Devontae what to do when he first started. However he was raised, he knew what to go into YouTube doing when it came to playing basketball and keeping positive vibes. Nobody had to tell him that. He already knew. That's in his character. I don't know what you came into doing. I remember when you were promoting your jumping program. You losing it, man. You losing it. Now, this video will get out somehow, some way. I'd like to play you. Get my squad. Cook you right quick. Cook your squad right quick. Friendly game of basketball, realistically speaking, because I know how the game works with you. When somebody is shit-talking you and it comes to basketball, you like to go play them. I'm offering that challenge. I get my boys. I tell you where I'm at. And it's whatever. Either way, with this little debate, just like I said with Fredo, where I called Fredo out for what he was doing, the agent back then, it's the same thing with you, Nick. You got people who look up to you, just like Devontae Friga does. There's people who look up to all those names I mentioned too, for the right reasons. Kids are easily influenced, my guy. In this generation, this is the new generation. I don't like this generation because I see more disrespect and retardedness left and right more than, I'm old school. I'm only 22. I'm finna be 23 next month, but I'm old school. I don't see the same respect I used to see back when I was growing up. That's the problem with this generation. You're promoting exactly what I hate. Fight after fight, smoke after smoke, violence after violence. In certain cases, encouraging it. Those comments you made are exactly what I'm talking about with it. That's not the type. That's not how we need to be. For the people who look up to you, you're encouraging them to do what you do with that, and go looking for smoke like that and violence. I don't know if there's good smoke and bad smoke. Actually, no, there isn't. Realistically, there isn't. I know there's friendly games and toxic games. If you're not having a friendly game and you're not coming there with friendly intentions and keeping them same intentions the entire time, you are there to be toxic, realistically speaking. The Savage Squad, your boys can play, but you their leader. You come bringing smoke, they gonna come with you. They just as toxic as you are because they follow you, realistically speaking. Is that not right? There's a verse in the Bible that says evil communications corrupt good manners. Taking that out the Bible when we apply it to you, you're the leader promoting evil communications in the sense to what you said. They will follow you. Just like with Too Hype. Yeah, Too Hype was talking. It was friendly banter. You came to play them. It turned into toxic banter. Instantly. I'm not going to stretch this out too far with this though. Anybody that sees this video, tell them. Tell them. Tell them both. I love to play them both. Hear me out though. When I say what I say, I take Devontae's side. I would love to play you, Nick. Realistically speaking. But I would stand by my take on what I said. You called him a bitch for what he did. The real bitch is you, my boy. If I could do that every time, and I'm speaking on this because I'm a hooper. I like to hoop. When I was living in Georgia, this channel knows some of them stories. When I was living in Georgia, somebody stuck me one night. They snuck me for no reason. I got set up at a court. I could have got killed that night because some 40-some-year-old man's toxic daughter, decided to, heard me telling somebody else about her dad was he was harassing me for no reason, just because I talked to his kid, just because I was asking general questions about what did his daughter plan to do with his life. I wasn't even hitting on her. This is when I first got to Georgia. I was 18. She was like 15 or 16, somewhere in that range. I don't pay attention to stuff like that. But I told the girl before I even started talking to her, I have a girl, so I'm not flirting with you. Her dad heard me say that, still didn't care. Went on to harass me the entire time I was living in Georgia, up until the last year before I left. And then one night, I ended up filing charges not filing charges, but I made multiple police reports on the man. The cops never did nothing. I still had to try, because I'm an adult. I don't want that on my record. So I tried to tell them. The night the cops had banned me from the court I had went to, but the night I got hit, I wasn't going to the court to go to the court. I was going through the court because a friend asked me to talk to him, and I had to go through the court to get to him. So I was right around his house. Right before I was about to leave the court that night, the 40-year-old's daughter was there in a hoodie. I didn't even know it was her because I really wasn't paying attention to her. Wasn't really minding her. Wasn't really studying her. Just coming there to talk and then go back to my business. Right before I left, the girl pulled her hood down and said, "You're still talking shit about my dad, I see." I started backing up real slow, about to take off. Next thing you know, I got stuck in the jaw. Now, I called the cops. It was 5 people that night, his boys. The girl called One dude, the dude who hit me, he had his boys with him. I'm not no idiot. Y'all not finna jump me and risk me getting killed. Using that scenario, it's the same thing of what I'm talking about. I don't believe in people who say snitches and all that. Hey, snitches last longer. Now, obviously, when you in prison, that's a different story, which is why you shouldn't go to prison. Common sense. But when you outside of that, you need to tell when the opportunities show up for it. If I didn't do what I did that night, I wouldn't even be talking. I probably would have been dead, and it would have been my fault. I take your approach, Nick, that night. I'm getting jumped and possibly killed. Realistically speaking. That's real. Realistically speaking. My girl was pregnant at the time, too. So I'm just a dead man. My son is going to be in the world without his father because his father decided to take the Nick Briz approach and swing back and get punched and jumped and all sorts of bad stuff. Then what? No father. My girl's a widow. Think about that. The people that encourage the type of content or the type of action vibe that he encourages on his content, think about that, man. Put yourself in my shoes that night. You got a girl who's pregnant, who you're going to marry. You take the Nick Briz approach instead of taking the Devontae Friga approach. You get killed. Your girl is a widow. Your child comes into the world without one of his parents. That is going to scar him or her for the rest of her life. Their life, because their dad is not there. And then when the truth comes out, you planting the seeds in their head, they need to do what you did because, oh, that's how he went out. He was just, hey. No. Not I. That's all I'm going to say, though. Get this to him, y'all. I hope you really think about what I'm saying, my boy. Because you need a content shit. You need a content change. You need to shift to your content. Keep hooping. Keep grinding. Keep doing what you're doing. But stop going to courts promoting and looking for smoke. If you're going to trash talk, keep it friendly, man. Because negative trash talk, and keep your boys accountable too. You talking friendly, make sure they talk friendly. That's what a leader does. Because if something happens to one of them because they were doing all that talking, that's on you, baby. That's on you. That's not on them because they're following you. That's follow the leader 101.